Thank you very much for the opportunity to be talking to you. I'm Dr. Herbert Kayiga. I'm a specialist obstetrician gynecology coming from Uganda, Kampala. I'm a lecturer in the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology, and it's been a beautiful experience coming to this training at Indira IVF under the Merck Foundation More Than a Mother. So I'm happy to talk about the infertility in Uganda. We have a population of close to 47 million Ugandans, and despite having a high fertility rate of about 4 at the moment, the burden continues to grow. It's challenging that despite all this population, we have about 5 fertility centers that are privately owned. We are yet to see the Women's Specialized Hospital opening one of the centers soon. But because of this, the challenge is that the cost is quite high. You can imagine to undertake one cycle, it's usually between 3,600 to up to 10,000 US dollars for an average Ugandan. It's quite an amount. And so this leaves us with very few options at times. Having sometimes to do tubal construction, which can either be done laparoscopic. Some colleagues have tried to do open surgeries. Sometimes we try to flush, what we call hydrotubation, to try in an effort to try to open out the tubes. But quite a number of times, like the literature says, the success rate is as low as 5%. So having all these burdens of this burden of women seeking infertility treatment with very minimal options, it can, one, be demoralizing to the patient who seems not to be benefiting, and also to the specialists. It's quite a downside, because if you're managing patients and 90% of them are not actually improving, it can quite be demotivating. So undertaking this training adds to the experts, and I pray that when I go back, I'll be able to join the Women's Specialized Hospital, and I will continue helping offer this service of infertility treatment to many of the other Ugandans. So I'll talk about my experience while here in Indira Fertility Academy. It's been a thrilling opportunity, a rare opportunity, because I've had the chance to be able to learn more about IVF and the different modes, the different stimulation cycles that are available, the interventions that can be given out. I've gotten a chance to work with the simulators, which are quite rare to find back home. And so having these simulation sessions have improved my skills. I've grown to learn more about how to do gynecology, ultrasound scans. We've been able to be to the OR, in the OT or operation theaters. We've been able to witness more of a laparoscopic clipping in case a couple has, in case a lady has fluid in the tubes. So it's better to optimize the outcomes, where you have to separate the tube from the uterus, or what we would call clipping. We've had a good exposure picking up the follicles in the operating theaters. We've gotten other experiences witnessing hysteroscopies. So on the whole, I believe I've been better. The exposures in the lab to enable us witness more of how they prepare the semen. And I believe that when you go back home, there are more feasible options like intrauterine insemination. We believe with capacity and the existing systems, we should be able to do low-cost management, like in utero insemination. Of course, it's been quite sophisticated, sometimes adapting in these 3 or so months, but I believe that the skills which we've obtained, one, will help us in service delivery, and me as a trainer and a teacher, it will also enable me to impact the students with the other spectra of interventions that can be available in the training. So I am grateful to the Merck Foundation More Than a Mother, because it has enabled me enrich my skills, and I believe that I'll be more resourceful because of the exposure I've had while at Indira Fertility Academy. Talking about the infertility status in Uganda, Uganda is found in East Africa, and it's one of the areas where infertility is quite prevalent. Despite the high fertility rate, one would anticipate that maybe infertility wouldn't have any burden. But quite a number of studies that have been done in Uganda have actually shown that women who are unable to have children, they are actually traumatized. And some, when they try to compare in my local hospital, Mulago National Referral Hospital, it showed that actually women who had infertility opted to have HIV, that HIV was, they would rather have HIV rather than the infertility. But when they try to compare with a couple who were able to have children, actually, according to them, they thought HIV was a more disastrous disease. So by the time an infertile couple opts rather suffer from HIV than infertility, it actually shows that the burden is high. And quite a number of couples locally have condemned themselves, and they think that maybe using the family planning options which were available were the ones which led to their infertility. And it's so sad that only about 15% of the women who were actually interviewed were showing that they knew the reasons why they were infertile. So it comes with a lot of tension, a lot of stigma. Some of the women actually end up having to carry babies from their neighbors to prove to the community that they have children. And this is quite painful because they can't leave. And the aspect of adoption is yet to be received in Africa. People haven't yet embraced this approach of adoption. So you would rather do everything to prove out a point that you're able to have children. I've actually interacted with some of the patients who have had infertility, and they would rather that at least they have many graveyards of miscarriages rather than being told that they can't have a child of their own. So infertility in Uganda sometimes sounds close to a death sentence, where you feel like you would rather die rather than live without children. Yeah, thank you very much again, and to our new aspirants who are interested in IVF training, we just want to tell you that this is an opportunity, it's an exposure that is quite unique, and it's one opportunity in a lifetime that you can actually look towards achieving. One, it would be ideal, I think, having gone through this, that you need to really read about the endocrinology that surrounds the menstrual cycle, get to know how the processes that are done, try to get acquainted with the practices back home, that when you come for this exposure, you will actually just polish up and have so much to seek out for. So it's a unique opportunity, but before coming, I think it would be quite intense and quite advisable that you read ahead of time, because it's more of a brain game. You have to think, plan. Different couples have different challenges, and when you come prepared up, I think it would be it would make your time and your stay fruitful. And yeah, I would highly recommend that you apply for such a course. It's a one-off in a lifetime, and I'm so grateful and so humbled to the Merck Foundation More Than a Mother for giving me this chance, and I really know that you'll make the most out of it. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much to my fellow Ugandans. You're the best. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. The Ministry of Health, Makerere University, Case Hospital, for giving me this opportunity to come and prosper and excel in the area of infertility. I'm so grateful and so proud of my country, Uganda, and I look forward to giving the very best after this training. Thank you very much. Uganda.